this is my e-bike. Did a video on it already. And what I'm showing is, since I've never done it before on this bike, I've done it on regular bikes, is that I have to swap out the inner tube. And I'm trying to figure out what fits where and what tools I'm gonna need. And as a first time trying this out kind of person, I'm just sharing my experience. My situation is that, or my problem is that the inner tube, which you can see it partially removed from the tire, I was hoping that I could fix the flat on this inner tube, but the problem and the reason there's no air in this inner tube is because the air valve stem fell off, completely came off the inner tube. So the whole inner tube has to be replaced. I purchased the inner tube online. It was from Amazon. I think I got a pack of 2. This is the inner tube I purchased online. And I'm hoping that the removal of this actual wheel to get this inner tube in is an easy job. Oh, great. These like plastic wedges that you use to actually not scrape up the actual metal wheel or rim when you're trying to get the inner tube out from the tire. So that's what you use. That's what I used with this. I used a set that I got, I think, at Home Depot. So again, this comes with 2. It's, let me see the size. There it is. 14 by 1.75 by /195. I have no idea what that date is. It looks like a date. I don't know what those numbers are, I should say. And what I would suggest first is, before you start putting this in the tire, so this is the actual tip stem. It's a little bit different. I think that metal one just ended up corroding after a while. We've had the bike for at least 2 or 3 years now. And what I would suggest, and then it comes with 2 of them. It's a 2-pack for about $12. And I would fill this up first before you put it in the So I would leave the air inside the inner tube while I'm removing the actual wheel. I don't hear any sound of any leaks of any kind, so hopefully this inner tube is good. But I've had purchased inner tubes in the past when I was a kid, where it came with a hole in it. It happens, some kind of defect or something. And hopefully it'll stay like this, and then we'll swap it, and then I'll take the air out, and then we'll swap it out. So I'm going to first remove the actual, well, you know what, let me just do the brakes. The brakes here, it looks like if with an Allen key, I just need to loosen it to bring it down, so that I can bring it out of its brakes. I don't like to mess with this end, because anytime I do, many times I can't put it back the way it was. So I'm hoping I can just do the brake adjustment, which is like the slider that slides up and down. If I can get it out of the way of the tie and get the wheel out, it would be great. So let me see what happens. Take an Allen key and turn it and loosen it. Okay. Yep, and it slides right down. And let me do the other side. See, now that way now I don't have to remove this, which is a great thing. And now let me do the actual nut on the wheel. Since this is electrical, that's my biggest issue is, you know, I'm doing this at my own risk. Do this at your own risk. It is your electric bike, so, you know, as if you want to try it yourself, but you may want a professional, I don't know. Okay. Now I got to do the other side. So again, do this at your own risk. Wow, there's something coming through there. Don't want to mess with this cable. Does this come apart? So I removed the little rubber tip here at the end. Kind of got it just a little bit loose here. And I think I got to remove, and make sure you keep all your things somewhere where you don't lose them. So I think I got to remove this wire, this cable, so that I get some kind of play on this wire here. I think I'm going to have to cut this wire tie and just replace it later. So let me get that cut. Okay, so let me just cut this wire tie from the cable. Be careful, don't cut the cable. The wire tie is right here, as you can see. The wire tie is easily replaceable. I just want to have play so I can remove pretty much the nut. Should be able to, I got to get this the chain off now, so I'm going to have to bring it a little bit forward. This moves out of the way. Just bring it forward a little bit with the wheel to see if I can get the chain off, and it's not letting me do that. Bring the whole thing forward. There's some play, so as you can see, I need to bring the wheel up to here, and it'll just slide out. So I needed to bring it forward so I can get this chain looser. I don't know what's preventing me from actually doing that. So let me stand it up. Let's see if that's what's. So I don't know how to bring this forward over here. I'm having a little bit of a difficult time just bringing the whole wheel forward. I've been trying to push it from the back, but that's not working. So let me try something else. And just looking to loosen the chain, and I'm going to use the hooks that came with the bike just to get the chain off. And again, do this at your own risk. Oh, that didn't work. All right, don't do that. Oh, but it did help. Okay, gave me a little bit of leeway. See, this is what I want to do. All right, so now the chain is off, and then I should be able just to pull the tire out now. Now that the chain is off, I can put the chain here, and I should be able now to just pull out the tire. I mean the wheel. All right, I'm gonna have to use both hands, so I can't record while I'm doing this. It should just come out. So I just figured out why it was giving me a hard time. It's the little brake pads. They're just in the way. So I have to remove it, one of them. Just keep everything in order. Make sure you don't lose anything. These are one of the brake pads. All right, and should be easier to remove now. I don't ever have to remove the other one. I may have to, so let me just show you. This silver part, it's wedged down. As you can see, it has like a crease to like really stay secure to the actual body of the bike. Right here, this thing here. Thought it was just some large type washer or something, but it's not. It's got a little, you can see it's got a little edge, so as I'm pulling it now, it's coming out, as you can see. So it has a shape to fit right in there. All right, so let me remove that. So I just pulled on it until it came loose. It comes off. That's it right here. This little thing here, it doesn't move much. Once you put it in, there's no play on it. You have to just completely take it out. And this is the way it should fit, just like that. Okay. If you've taken this out and you have no idea how it goes, and I'm just following. Can you turn this a little bit? That one I haven't taken out at all. I haven't even removed the wire. I'm not taking the wire out at all. I'm just changing the tire, the inner tube. So I'll just leave the cable connected. I'm gonna leave it connected. And I can work from the other side. The inner tube will come out from the other side. So there should be no issues. Right there. Since the bike is upside down and the cable is not long enough for the actual wheel to sit on the floor, there's too much, there's not enough cable for the wheel to touch the floor. I just got a box. An Amazon box. I'm sure everybody has an Amazon box in their home. And I just laid it on top here, and I'll work on it from here. I just need to get the inner tube through here. Now, I'm gonna get the inner tube in here, and what I'm gonna end up doing when you're in here, again, just because I have one hand, just look through the wheel. So on my side, I'm going to actually turn the actual, see, I'm gonna look here. Make sure there's no sharp objects, there's no sharp edges within the actual rim wheel itself. Run your hand through it. Make sure nothing had gotten in at all. Make sure it's nice and smooth. I remember back in the day, they used to come with a rubber piece you put there because the spokes used to stick up too much sometimes. Would cause a pinch on the inner tube. But I don't think there's nothing like that here. It's very nicely coated, so I don't think you have the whole spoke thing going on here. It's very nicely coated. So let me do that. Again, I'm just gonna run my fingers around it and make sure nothing's in there sharp. Be careful. So I checked it, no issues, and there's the opening for the stem for the inner tube, and let's put it in. So this is the inner tube. It's been about half an hour now and no issues, so I'm just going to let the air out. I'll do it with my finger. Or actually, let me get the
cover?
No, no. I'm gonna get one of these. Let me see if this helps. The one that came with the inner tube, just to get the air out. Nope, that doesn't work. So forget about that. This is just my air pump. I just put it in without locking it and get the air out of there. Let's squeeze all the air out. So now that it's flat, I'll put it in through this side, find the opening for the stem, and you gotta work it to get it in there. That's gonna probably be one of the hardest things. Gotta get it through here and play with it. So this was the hardest, but you work it, it'll eventually get in there. And now you just have to put this and you'll be using the pieces that they gave us with the inner tube to wedge it in.
That's what that's for.
And the reason it's plastic is to keep you from, and be careful not to, you know,
Pinch your finger?
pinch the inner tube.
Oh.
You work it until you get the tire in. Keep on. And it's in. Awesome. All done. So, okay, now that we're done with that, this is the chain. I have it nice and lined up to fit in on the wheel, and now we got to slide the wheel back in place. And again, you have to, I need another hand. I'm alone, I don't have another person, but what you want to do is slide. I'm gonna have to put the camera down. I'm gonna have to slide this in. Oh, you want to, thank you. So now I'm gonna slide this in to fit. Hold on a moment. The actual opening for the cable was facing forward, so I'm gonna have it facing forward. And this is the piece you want to fit on this side and on this side. See over here? Has to go in like this with this lip facing me, and it'll slide in so like that. Now I gotta do it on this side. And it takes some work, but So after this is what I used to actually, not this actually, I'm gonna use this to actually wire tie the cable back. This is what I used to get it in. Okay, so what I did was I actually nice and easily tapped this end here. Now you do this at your own risk, please. Do not listen to me. I'm just telling you what I did. Maybe you'll have to take it in to a professional or something, but wow, it is a lot of work to get this in evenly. I finally got the chain at a point of pretty decent. I'm gonna pull it back just a little bit more, but it's a decent tension. But what I did was I actually had to take this, and that's why there's all that residue there, because this has paint on it. Got paint on it by accident. And I actually placed it about right here, not on the chain. Be careful not to hit the sprocket. You don't want to bend any of these sprocket pegs at all. So I got it about right here, this area here, like that. And I just hammered it in the back of it while I held it in place like this. I took this rubber hammer, this hammer, and hammered the back of the rubber hammer lightly. And I did it on both sides. I'd do one side, pa 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 pa, and then the other side, pa 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 pa. And little by little, I finally got it in. It took about, I'm gonna say about half an hour. It looked like it wasn't going in at all, but it was slightly going in, little by little. And so it's a lot of work. Now, I put the nut here. This is the washer. Got that in. Now I'm gonna put this side, and this thing here is used also to pull it back. So I'm going to put it this way, screw it on, with my finger. Let me get a little bit tighter. So once you get it in place, I believe you use this by tightening it. You use it to tighten this. Once you get this in, and now you can pull back on it by pressing on here, as this is connected to the actual, whatever this the bolt for the rear wheel. And now you'll just tighten it until you get a nice halfway decent tension. Now, I'm just gonna tighten it just a little bit. It's not too bad, but I want to get it a little bit better. So what you're gonna do, and again I have one hand, kind of just tighten this until you get it to the proper tension. You can probably just use another wrench that actually fits. I'm just gonna use this one. So I think I've tightened it enough for the tension. I could always tighten it more if I need to. And now I'm just going to tighten the bolts. Put this back over it. Again, I never took the cable out. I worked on it by just using the other side to get the inner tube in. And I'm just going to tighten both bolts now. Yeah, I think it's good enough. Not too tight, not too loose. Let me tighten the bolts. So one of the things you want to also do, just in case, before you tighten the bolts, is to make sure visually, I guess this will be the center right here where this opening is, and the tire, to make sure it's visually even. So I'll look from the rear forward. I will also look downward, and I will check both sides to make sure they're as even as it could be. Just visual. Before you start tightening the nuts. Everything's nice and tight. Now let's put the cable back. And still right here. Here. And I wonder if this actually comes apart. I didn't even try to take it apart. I'm not sure. Well, now that the cable is actually run within the little conduit type holders for the bike, put this on. Straight it down here. And I guess this goes on the side, and now we need the wire tie around this thing here. That will be this wire tie. I will put it through here and wrap and hold to and wire tie it to the cable. I'm sorry, I'm taking that back. Again, you do this at your own risk, but I'm not gonna wire tie it here. I'm gonna wire tie it here, over here. I don't know what those holes are meant for here at all. I have the same on the other side. Right there. But I'm going to wire tie it just so that it loops and stays out of the way here. Again, I'm doing this on my own, and you know, if you're following me, you're doing it at your own risk. I'm not an expert. I put the wire tie on. Now let's, I think that's it. Oh, the brakes, gotta do the brakes. So again, we have to separate the gold area here. So we're gonna have this piece. I'm gonna put this one first on the right side. Then the little gold thing facing this way. I'm gonna put it in, and then everything, I'll put this in from the inside out, and everything will go into place like this. I left this one complete. Where does the washer? Yep, the washer goes there. Okay. Take the brake, take the wasted area, put it in the slanted area. Try to put that in first. I think it's like, you know what, like this. It's much more slanted on this side, on my right, on the right in the video, to the left. And then I'm gonna put it in here. Then you will put the silver one in. The silver one will go. Let me just double check with the other one. Like this. Will go in here. Then the white part of the silver one will go. The silver one will go in, and the silver one will be, hold on 1 second. Yep. This part, the open part, will go in next, just like this. So that's the open part, and it'll go in just like that, followed by the washer, and then the Allen key or final screw. Screw it in nicely. Okay, and then you level it to the point where, or you put it in the area that it actually only touches this part of the tire. You only want to touch this part, and that's it. Once you get it there, you tighten it, and you are done. When you're tightening this, you have to hold it with your fingers evenly along the actual wheel or the rim, just for the fact that you want to keep it as even as you could with the actual tire. As you turn it, this tends to turn with the turns. So you want to like hold it in place. You need two hands. Use one hand to hold it in place, something like this, and then you use the other hand to actually tighten it. And it tightens pretty easily. Now let's do the other side. My son's gonna help me fill it up. I finished already. The brake on the other side. Then all the brakes are done. That's on the other side. Now let's fill up the tire and make sure it fills up. I'm gonna wait about a week. My son's gonna let me know how it goes with the actual inner tube. Okay, son, go ahead, start. Don't do what I just did. I forgot the kickstand. So you gotta take this nut completely out and put the kickstand back on. We'll put a note in the beginning. Don't forget the kickstand like I did. So I did it washer, kickstand, and then the nuts. Again, don't be guided by me. Seek professional help if you need it. This is the kickstand, which I'm not a big fan of. I wish it was much nicer, or a kickstand that leans more, but it doesn't. You have to be careful on how you have the bike when you use the kickstand, because if the steering wheel, I think, faces too far, I think it's right. Is it right? It'll fall over. If you have it one way or the other, it'll fall over. So you have to be careful. I think the steering wheel has to face left in order for this to balance itself out. And still, a wind comes, it will knock the bike over. So I'm not a big fan of this kickstand. Also, don't forget the small little rubber tip that goes here. Okay. Another thing that happened with the bike when I put it upside down was that the brakes, the bell, the reflector light, they all shifted. Even the power shifted. It was all turned this way. So be aware of that when you put it upside down. That may happen. I should have loosened everything so that when it shifted, nothing would break or anything. So I might have just loosened these and then be able to put them back when I need to put them back. So that's what really helped, was that would have helped if I would have loosened them before I put it upside down. And the kickstand is on, and yeah, but it leans left. You have to lean it left. It has to be perfectly this way, and you have to be careful. A wind will blow this. Someone tapping it will cause it to flip over, and keeping it this way for some reason will make it more unbalanced than usual. So we usually keep it like this, and usually it stays put, especially when we're charging it in the apartment. Now we're just gonna test to make sure everything's working. So son, can you just press the gas? Let go. Press the brake. Okay, everything seems to be working fine. So my son's gonna try it out for about a week and come back to me and let me know if everything's a-okay. The inner tube still has air, and he's gonna start using it tomorrow. All right, let's come back in a week, or earlier depending on what happens, but hopefully it'll be in a week. It's 7 days later and I'm finishing up the video. My son rode the bike with the new inner tube and everything seems to be working just fine. Son, how did the inner tube act? Was there any issues with air or deflating or anything? No. Nothing at all? No. So the inner tube worked great. No issues whatsoever. The hardest part was taking it out. That was really hard. But I put air in it 7 days ago and it's still, what I physically feel, it still has the same amount of air. No issues whatsoever. And the bike is running just fine. So it's, to us, thumbs up on those two inner tubes that we purchased. They're working, doing the job, doing a great job at what it's supposed to do, which is keeping air inside the tire and giving you as smooth a ride as possible. No issues whatsoever, son?
No.
You have anything else? The bike acts normal. I put everything back the way it's supposed to be put back. I'm sorry?
Yes.
Okay. So everything I ended up putting everything in correctly, screwing everything with the right screws and putting it together correctly. So I hope the video helps you, as it seems like it looks like the brakes are working fine, right? No issues?
Yes.
Okay, my son said yes, no issues whatsoever with the brakes. So everything's working fine, and I did put everything back the way it belongs. So I'm happy about that. That was my nervous part, was making sure that all the screws and nuts were tightened enough and actually tightened to the correct items.
or the correct mounts or the correct nuts. So everything went well. 1 week later, thumbs up, everything's good. All right, thank you for watching the video. I hope it helps. Bye.
Bye.
Two-pack, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 24, 26 inches kids bike inner tubes with 32mm Schrader valve, compatible with Titan Racing Junior range bikes and road mountain bikes. 05282022. Cost, $12.99. Brand Calpami. Valve type Schrader. Material rubber. Bike type road bike, mountain bike, BMX bike. Wheel size 14 inches. About this item. High quality 14 inches x 1.75 inches 2.125 inches kids bike replacement inner tubes. Thick, heavy duty, and dependable. These inner tires are perfect for numerous applications including inner tubes for toddler and preschooler bikes. With an expandable width that can accommodate 1.75 inch, 1.90 inch, 1.95 inch, 2 inch, and 2.125 inch tires, these inner tubes can withstand a lot, whether it be a toddler's rough riding or a preschooler venturing out into gravel and sand. Highly compatible inner tube replacement for toddlers and kids bikes. Highly compatible brands models include Joystar Fairy Kids Bike, Joystar Neo Kids Bike, Kousk Kids Bike, Little Princess Style, Kousk BMX Cycling Kids Bike, Dynacraft Hot Wheels Boys BMX Street Dirt Bike, Royal Baby Jenny Girls Kids Bike, Royal Baby Bulldozer Kids Bike, Huffy Glimmer Girls Bike, Huffy Modix Boys Quick Connect Bike, and Segway Ninabot Kids Bike 14 inch. Extra thick butyl rubber for maximum riding comfort. Upgrade your riding experience, whether you are a toddler or an adult. With high-quality inner tubes that have superior shock, impact, and vibration dampening capabilities. The thick, strong, and high-durable butyl rubber make of these inner tubes is the perfect damping material to reduce vibrations and dissipate shock caused by bumps and rough patches on the road or pavement. Explosion-proof inner tubes. Safety is our priority. Calpami aims to produce products that are safe and are of high quality. That's why our range of replacement inner tubes are thorn and tear resistant with self-sealing capabilities to prevent huge punctures that can turn explosive. Protect yourself and your tires with our explosion-proof inner tubes. Important note, this replacement kit is an aftermarket product produced by Calpami, TM. It meets or exceeds the performance of OEM replacements, based on in-house testing. We do not have any affiliation with or endorsement from any of the manufacturers mentioned. Product description: 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 24, 26 inches kids bike inner tubes. Kids bike. 2-pack inner tubes. This replacement kit is an aftermarket product produced by Calpami. 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 24, 26 inches kids bike inner tubes. With 32mm Schrader valve. Compatible with Titan Racing Junior range bikes and road mountain bikes. We offer variety of bicycle tubes like 12 inches, 14 inches, 16 inches, 18 inches, 20 inches, 24 inches, 26 inches. Adds comfort to your baby's ride. Safety first is our motto. 100% butyl, BPA and odor-free rubbers. Easy to install. Product information. Technical details. Item package dimensions LXWXH 5.08 x 3.31 x 2.17 inches. Package weight 0.23 kilograms. Item dimensions LXWXH 14 x 1.75 x 14 inches. Brand name Calpami. Material rubber. Suggested users unisex adult, boys, girls. Manufacturer Calpami. Part number 14 by 1.75 1.95 inches. Size 14 inches.